Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the series that took place this morning in the LPL and LCK, and then preview tomorrow's schedule in the LPL and LCS. You'll notice the LCS series between FlyQuest and 100 Thieves is not on here, as has been the case all split long. LCS ends up on the day after because, it's a best of 5. If it goes 5 games, it'll be 10 o'clock. If it has a pause, it could take even longer, and the turnaround late at night is not possible. So this is how we do it. 269 and 131 on the split in predictions. Yesterday went 1 and 2. Just when I put RNG to bed and pick Rare Atom, RNG somehow find a win, winning 2-1 against Rare Atom. They finished their split 8 and 8, and Rare Atom currently are 5 and 10. Wei was my MVP. Gala went 17, 11, and 18 for 30% of RNG's damage. Angel, 8, 4, 21 in mid lane, had the best KDA. Assam went 11, 8, and 15 for 33% of Rare Atom's damage. Game 1, I thought RNG got out to a nice lead. Unfortunately, they found a way to kind of mess it up. I thought Ming was doing very good things along with Wei, which is why I made Wei MVP. I thought that he was very active in this series. But as far as Gala is concerned, a lot of people pick Gala for MVP, and I can see it. Gala had some pop-off moments on the Kesa and on the Zeri. But at the same time, I thought there were times in lane where he and Ming, which is why Ming didn't end up being MVP, left a little bit on the table. Southwind getting the better of Ming at times. Not often, but more than I would have liked. Top lane wise, I thought Cube did very well. Breathe also, like the top lane was kind of on an island, and in Cube in team fights, he played Jax all 3 games. I thought his Jax was very good. I thought that Strive played well also. Rare Atom are probably a support away from actually maybe taking the next step and becoming a team that is not at 6 and 9 and maybe are at 8 and 8 or whatever. And that is the difference between not being a playoff team and being a playoff team in the LPL, because 10 teams out of 17 make it. So as far as I'm concerned, I thought Rare Atom did some good things today. Frankly, they threw this series. They were ahead at some point in all 3 games. RNG coming out ahead, obviously. Which says a lot about RNG, right? RNG are on dire straits. The team sucks by all of our standards of RNG. They've had a very tumultuous split, swapping out coaches, swapping out mid laners, swapping out supports, and it ends at 8 and 8 with them in the playoffs. We'll see how they do, but based off of this series, I was not impressed at all. I thought Rare Atom actually got the better of RNG. Over the aggregate. It just didn't turn out to be that way when push came to shove. FPX and Top Esports. FPX 4 and 11. Top 8 and 7. Top would win 2-0. Rookie was MVP. Jackie Love led in damage, going 4-3-22 with 31%. Mark, his support, had the best KDA, going 0-2-32. LWX for FPX had their best stat line, going 9-8-2, 32% of damage. Game 1, Top really took it to FPX. Rookie on the Aurelian Soul, very active, getting to bot lane, making things happen, ensuring that his bot lane got ahead. As you can see, neither Jackie Love nor Mark had many kills. They had more deaths than kills, actually, but a ton of assists. Rookie was the one racking up kills in this series. The Aurelian Soul in Game 1, and then the Akali in Game 2. He even had a quadra kill on Akali in Game 2. A very, very good, very good series out of Rookie. He took the bull by the horns. I thought Wayward in his first series did fine. We said this yesterday, though. It's going to give a tough read on where Top is now, because they waited so long to play Wayward that it's hard to really tell. Are they going to play Wayward in the playoffs? Are they going to play Ching Tian? Is playing against FPX a good read for anybody? Because FPX aren't very good. Is Wayward good or not? Early on in Game 2, he really wasn't that relevant on the Gnar, but when push came to shove in the mid lane, when the game got close because Top threw their advantage, in gold, it came down to Wayward. It actually came down to LWX versus Wayward. LWX really popped off on Zeri in the mid to late game of Game 2, and Wayward had to put a stop to it on the Gnar. getting a double kill in a key fight where LWX seemed to be going against all laws of League of Legends with Zeri, which seems to be the case. Zeri is a rule breaker. And carry a team fight that probably wasn't carryable otherwise. I just top are a mess. RNG are worse, not only in record but in just the thought process of comparing RNG and top. But both teams have been big disappointments this split, that's for sure. The LPL in general has been more competitive than I think many would have expected. For better or for worse. We'll know internationally when they go if they are for better or for worse. But this has been extremely competitive this spring split. HLE and D+. HLE 16th in the power rankings, 10-8. Played D+, who are 7th at 12-6. This was a playoff matchup, and HLE would upset D+ 3-1. Zeka was my MVP. A lot of people not liking that Zeka was above Faker in my LCK All-Pro yesterday. Kingen led the team in damage, going 10-6-16, 28%. Got the better of Kana in this one. I think there's an argument to be made that he had an MVP performance. Life, 4-4-33, had the best KDA, and Kana led D+ in damage, going 7-7-12 for 28% of D+'s damage. So, this one. We're looking at the 4 games. 2 were very lopsided. The team that won had the gold lead from the rip and never gave it up. Now, game 3 is the ugly stepchild. D+ were in the lead for a very long period of time in game 3 and blew it. In doing so, they really came out flat in game 4. HLE went after them hard, got out to an early lead. D+ were able to recover and take a few drakes, if I recall correctly, and really put themselves into a position where they could come back. However, HLE, Zeka on the Yasuo was able to do some very good things, and Kingen as well was able to make some things happen in key moments, solo killing Kana at one point in a side lane, as there was a team fight occurring, I think, around Rift Herald. It's just one of those things where HLE finally showed up. Like, the thing is, like, we look at the 2 players I'm citing here, Kingen and Life. All split long, it's been Klid, Kingen, and Life not really living up to what we expected. And Kingen, for better or for worse, he's an average player. He showed up big in this moment. He showed up big at Worlds and Finals. But if we look at Kingen's entire career, I would say he's average. So, for him to show up, it's very nice because HLE need that, right? Life, 4-4-33. He did not int his face off. Viper had some very good moments. The Zeri in game 1 was very good. Game 2, they lost because they tried to split up the Lucian Nami, which was int as hell. We see that happen over and over again. So HLE's only loss actually came because they tried to split that up and put themselves in a disadvantage. Even Klid started off this series by stealing a Drake against Canyon. So, like, immediately Klid shows up in a big way after all split long not being very consistent on his own smites, constantly having things stolen from him, constantly screwing up ganks and plays. And maybe that was the confidence Klid needed after that to be like, okay, we can do this. And he really showed up. But circling back to Zeka, because he's MVP, I thought he played very good on Tristana, Yone, and Yasuo in their 3 wins. All 3 champions that are not champions that we cite when we look at Zeka, Silas, and Akali being the 2 main ones. Cassidy in this split, he went 4-1 as well. But these 3 champions, he did fine. It was kind of weird after the series that he said he didn't really know Yasuo's abilities 100%, but he had 10 kills on Yasuo, right? So he showed up in a big way. And really the 2 carries kind of under the radar when it comes to stats, but really did some very good things for HLE in this one. As D+, I mean, like I said, Kana leads the team in damage. His KDA isn't great, but Canyon really made some mistakes. Showmaker was non-existent. Deft was making mistakes in positioning. Kellen really wasn't all there. Like, D+ all around haven't been good for a little while now. Last week really struggled, losing to T1 and Gen G. They dropped in my top 25, but I'm like, these are 2 elite teams they lost to. And it seems that towards the end, D+ struggled. I know a lot of people are going to say, look at HLE, look how good they are, and this and that, and they should be higher, and whatever. And it's like, well, next week HLE will probably be higher. Now, if they can beat, they play Gen G. I don't know. That we'll see what happens with that. But as far as power rankings are concerned, I mean, HLE won, and they won handily. 3-1. I mean, it didn't go to 5 games. They were able to come back in game 3, a game that they had no business winning. And D plus have some reflecting to do. I wonder after. I mean, the thing is, like, Kana actually wasn't that bad, but D plus have the best, and I've said this a few times, the best organizational depth in the world. You look at their challenger roster; it's full of players that I think are LCK level, definitely Western level. I don't know why teams are not buying out these players, offering D plus a shit ton of money for Thanatos or Lucid or Pulbay or Rahel, or, I mean, not really Bible, but the other 4 are very good. Or Laspa, or whatever, the Loopy, I forget who their support is exactly. I know I mentioned it last week in my support video, but that was actually filmed a week earlier. Regardless, D plus are loaded with prospects, so they can always work from within if they have to. Sneak peek for tomorrow: LPL, LGD, and LNG. LNG 4th in the power rankings at 12-3, LGD 5-10. LGD coming off of a loss to JDG. LNG beat Ultra Prime. In week 4 of summer, LNG would win 2-1. 3 of the 10 starters from that series start tomorrow. Tarzan for LNG, and then Hai Chao and Jin Zhao for LGD. Tarzan went 9-4-20 in the win for 12% of damage. Meteor on the opposite side was retired. Thunder Talk 8-6 against EDG, 12-3, 5th in the power rankings. EDG coming off of an upset loss to FPX. Thunder Talk coming off of a upset win against Top over a week ago. They haven't played since last Wednesday. Week 4 of summer, EDG would win 2-0. Half the starters overlap. JJ went 4-4-11 in the win for 9% of EDG's damage. Beshwan in the loss went 2-7-6, 15%. We'll see how that one goes. Thunder Talk are starting with Wanfang after signing iBoy a couple days ago. That seems like a recipe for disaster, but we'll see what happens. CLG and C9. CLG 10-8. C9 14-4, 10th in the power rankings. CLG lost to 100 Thieves. C9 would beat FlyQuest in tiebreakers on Friday or Saturday. I forget which. Week 8, so Saturday, they played. CLG would actually win against C9. Maybe it wasn't Saturday. This was the first day of the split, so it could have been Thursday. I mean, first day of the week, so it could have been Thursday. Either way, CLG would win that one. Contracts went 7-1-17 on a Sejuani for 20% of CLG's damage. Blabber would go 0-8-3 on a Gragas for 17%. Obviously, over the tiebreakers in the rest of the week, C9 really showed a high level of play, beating FlyQuest twice, who is their best competition. And CLG mixed results, losing to 100 Thieves in the end. It's definitely going to be something, because it wasn't close. CLG railroaded C9 pretty good in that game that they played last week. So C9 have to respond. They have to be ready and not take CLG for granted. I will say that maybe losing to them already was a blessing in disguise, because now they know, hey, we actually have to try against this team. We cannot just, think that we're going to just beat them without really caring. You have to actually prepare. So, that's it for the roundup. Later on today, I will have my top 10 minor region power rankings come out. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and thank you for watching.